Safety standards that the Lagos State government has for its citizens, because this bridge happens to be a very popular and very important bridge in Lagos as part of the road network. So as we speak, the fire is still going on under the bridge. There are containers under this bridge that are still burning so much to the effect that I can feel the heat as I stand on this bridge under my shoes. I can actually feel the heat under my shoes. But that is not to say the fire is not being contained. As a fallout of the fire incident at Apongbon, there's now a traffic jam on the Eco Bridge. As you can see behind me, cars are backed up for kilometers. They can't go forward, they can't go back. In front of me, there's a traffic jam. Behind me, there's a traffic jam. And the drivers have been complaining of being stuck in this traffic pileup since 11:30 a.m. in the morning. So we're so pleased that NEMA is here. We thank God that there's no loss of life as you reported earlier. Can you give us a summary of how the efforts have been going on to contain the fire up to this moment?
Well, it has been a very, very tedious assignment because we never knew it would take us this long. The major problem or the major obstacle was lack of information or knowledge that there are a lot of containers stuck under this bridge. And the number of containers as at now, we can't estimate it, but ordinarily we've counted not less than 20. And some of them have not been able to, we have not been able to reach it. So we have to deploy crane and other things to start removing them gradually. And under this condition, we have smoke, heat. So some of the responders were getting exhausted. So we need to relax, re-energize, and get back to the scene. So that has been a major problem for us in solving this problem. Aside from that, we've been having cooperating community members who are giving us information of what had transpired before the fire started.
Can you give us an idea of how many shops or houses have been affected?
Well, as at now, no number of residential houses are affected, though you can't separate residential houses from commercial houses where shops are. They intermingle. The topmost can be residential, the down low can be shops. So most of them, we can't say whether some of them are affected, but physically, no fire has entered any of the houses. However, we've called on the state government to carry out integrity tests on the building because of the fire that got closer to them. It could have weakened the building. So that integrity test will be conducted by Lagos State government. While the federal government, Federal Ministry of Works, just like in the morning, we've alerted, we blocked the way. They just left now, they've decided, both state and federal government have decided to close down the road till integrity test is done and necessary repair will be done. And first thing, based on the discussion we've had, one, a portion of the road will have to be evacuated completely and replaced with another one. We are still working. I've spoken with Nigerian Corps of Engineers, Nigerian Army, on what they too will come for assessment on what can be done to provide palliatives because of the community. This is a commercial nerve center, more or less, of Nigeria, because every part of the country still trade there. So we want to look at possibility of making the place as accessible as early as possible, because the only leaking road will be third mainland bridge. And that one also, the pressure will be too much on it if we don't have palliative. So we are working on it, and by the grace of God, when we finished all the table work, you will see it.
Is there a chance that the fire can affect this bridge?
It has affected it already physically.
I can feel heat beneath
yes,
me.
it has affected it. So the bridge is compromised.
The bridge is affected. Has been.
Yes.
Okay.
The Eco bridge is affected. The bridge has been compromised safety-wise. So and that action of repairs, it has been shut down completely. The Eco bridge has been shut down completely. In addition to this, we observe a public safety issue. While the fire disaster is ongoing and we are getting access to some places, some of the containers, some canned food were being removed from it. And this canned food have been touched by fire. So some people are trying to repackage it.
You're talking about
edible, yes, canned food like tomatoes.
Canned food, okay.
Canned food like tomatoes, tomatoes, baked beans, all those ones, sardine, geza, all these products were touched.
Affected
and
by the
for
fire.
after today, if anybody should touch it to consume it, can post. So we are appealing to the residents of Lagos to look carefully when they are purchasing any of these products. They should look at it if there has been too much touching, like cleaning the can. You know, when you are washing or you are using any product to wash it, it will not be as sharp. The writing on it will not be as sharp as. So once you observe it, they should try to avoid purchasing such.
Can you give us an estimation of when you think the operation will be concluded?
Well, this is an emergency phase. The emergency phase, we want to finish the operation as soon as possible. Before nightfall, it should be over.
And there be synergy between all the agencies, NEMA, the fire service, Lagos State government?
You know, we have all the fire service are here, including Nigerian Army. They deployed their fire service. They've been working, all of us have been working together.
Is there any harm, is it possible that any harm, the damage done to this bridge already can cause it to collapse in any way?
No, we don't think so. We don't think it will collapse totally, but it has given signs that it's compromised.
This morning, about 03:14 hours this morning, we received a call to Eco Bridge. And in Apongbon area, there is a fire outbreak. On getting here, we discovered the fire was under the bridge where we have containerized shops. Many of containerized shops. We met the shop on fire. On getting there, the information gathered was there is a particular shop stored with chemical. And we also have the one with petrol. That is what erupted the bridge. The explosion of the chemical erupted the bridge. Right now, the bridge is under closed. The Lagos State Ministry of Works and Federal, they are working together. They closed the bridge temporarily to ensure the integrity test is carried out before it will be ascertained if it is motorable.
So, what are the measures your organization has put in place to stem the fire?
We've been here with 4 fire service trucks from Lagos State Fire Service alone, with a lot of chemical, and all our men on ground to fight the fire. And we ensure that we demarcate the portion with fire from the one with no fire to ensure security and safety.
Has there been any casualty or what?
Presently, no casualty, no life involved. Situation is under control. We are on top of it.
Right now, I'm from under the bridge. I've arranged for one of our fire trucks to be fighting the fire. In the next couple of minutes now, you will see that fire will be off. I've arranged for that. They are now fighting the fire. So our plan is over the bridge. They pass us down to be fighting the fire. I've moved around under the bridge and I've seen where the fire erupt. So they are now fighting the fire instantly now.
That's interesting to know. Probably you take us there. We need to see, where the
yes,
fire.
I can take you there.
No, not that you have identified where the fire actually comes from. Yes. What really is the cause of the fire?
Where, as I've learned, the investigation is yet to be carried out. The best thing is to fight the fire out first, then now carry out the investigation. For now, you cannot say this is the causes of fire until when the fire finish. And we are going to do that. We have investigation department, which is going to carry out the assignment.
But I hear some people saying chemicals,
No, it's only the material they store that catch fire that makes explosive on this bridge. But what's actually the fire until when you carry out the investigation? You cannot ascertain the cause of the fire now.
You can see one of the major challenges we encounter in trying to put out this fire is the fact that there is a lot of containers under the bridge that impede our activities. Not only that, you can see that the main cause of this fire started from inside this container. So, thank God, we are able to curtail the fire. We are able to put it off. All the key stakeholders that are important in managing emergency are on the ground. We have the NEMA, we have the fire services, we have the federal fire services, we have LASEMA. Now, we need to move to the next stage. The next stage is the aftermath of this disaster to prevent it from occurring again. With that, we are going to carry out structural tests around the building and the bridges in this area. Not only that, those people that have container around bridges, under bridges in Lagos State, we've given them 48 hours to remove all these containers. 48 hours. Anybody that has bridges, that have containers under the bridge, adjacent to the bridge, that is close to the bridge, adjacent to building that could cause fire, we appeal to them that within 48 hours, they should dismantle it. They should relocate to another place. If not, across all over Lagos State, we will dismantle. We will remove all the containers that are under our bridges and by the side of the bridges. Because safety of life and properties is paramount to administration of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu.
Now you just said you've ascertained the cause of this fire.
We have not ascertained. We are going to carry out investigations. But the fire started from one of the containers under the bridges.
So, like I said, I heard you telling occupants under this bridge and the evacuate.
Immediately.
So what is the importance of them? Because Commandant will cry and say, "Oh, you want us out of Lagos?"
Not really, because you see, the point is this: there's no spare parts to life, and prevention is better than curative. As an early warning and the aftermath of this fire disaster, it is clear that one, the container have constituted nuisance in impeding the safety of life and properties in here, and one way or the other, for their own safety, we need to remove them. We need to carry out holistic reconstruction around this area. And by doing, we have already we had a short spot stakeholders meeting that we all decided that the containers under the bridge, containers by the side should be removed immediately.
So,
we are giving them 48 hours.
So, talking about 48 hours, don't you think that is just too small?
It's not small. No. We've been saying this for a long time. We've been saying this for a long time. If you look at it, about last year, there was a fire incident in here. We've recorded around this area, we have recorded close to 5 fire districts, which we have already informed them. So we've been informing them for over 5 years that they should move from this place, that this place is not safe for them. Right now, we are going to enforce, and that enforcement has come by giving them 48 hours notice. In fact, I've started moving our machinery to this place to position them so that after 48 hours, we will commence from here. And it's going to affect all bridges, all building, all containers that are close to building across Lagos State.
Well, we got the alert around 06 hours, which is 6 a.m. this morning, and the alert was due to traffic build-up and the expanding nature of the fire. that started, because initially it was thought to be a very minor fire incident that could be handled within few minutes. But when it started, the road had to be blocked. Then traffic build-up led to police alerts, and the Nigerian Police Lagos State Command had to alert. From there, we pick it up and deployed other responders. However, long before this, both federal and state fire service had been on site working assiduously.
Has there been any casualty? Have you rescued anybody? Was there any major injury or casualty at all?
Well, as at now, no major injury, though there are cases of extortions here and there, and those people have been taken care of, rescued and taken care of. However, just like what happened in the past, this very particular road, the Federal Ministry of Works controller have been summoned to come over, and it has to be, integrity test had to be carried out when the cooling of the site of the bridge is completed. The fire service are doing the damping down, and a few areas where we have fire, they are being taken care of. Immediately after the damping down, maybe 2-3 days, integrity test has to be carried out. But as at now, the place is not safe for for any type of vehicular movements.
Has there been any extension damage in terms of, you can see buildings around, was any building affected aside from, I noticed there are shops under the...
Well, the Lagos State government, especially Lagos State Building Control Agency, we have to carry out integrity tests in many of the buildings around there, so that all the buildings around will be taken care of. And just now, the Lagos State government has indicated that all the areas, all the shanty jobs and the containerized shop will be stopped, and everything will be cleared, so that such occurrence will be prevented.
I can see that the fire probably is not totally put off. What measures, what are the future plans you have in place to finally bring this
well,
fire break to
as I said, the damping down has started in major area, but pockets of fire are still available in 1 or 2-3 places. And efforts, about 4 fire trucks are working from different directions to take care of that.
Okay, finally, any other message you want to pass across?
Well, the message has been that we should mitigate disasters so that the effect will not be much when it occurs, by abiding with all the disaster risk reduction strategies, being sensitized and created by building the resilience of Nigerians. The problem where we are having the art of failing to mainstream disaster risk reduction in their daily activities is the major cause of incident. As of today, an average of 8 fire outbreaks are being recorded on a daily basis, though it's a drastic reduction from the previous incident where we have 15 to 20 fire occurrences on a daily basis. So it's still a way forward, but our people should abide by disaster risk reduction strategies that are being deployed by all stakeholders at the state and federal level.
From the EPA to Lagosians and all of us here, is that inhaling smoke is injurious to your health. Particulate matters and the soot is injurious to your health. Whilst we are waiting evacuation, we are appealing to people to stay away from inhaling this black soot in the air. We're also appealing to onlookers for their safety, even for the integrity of where we stand on. Please stay away. And the other thing is, in Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency and Ministry of Environment, you need to have a certificate to accredit you to store inflammable chemicals. There's a Department of Chemical and Hazardous Material management. We will never in Lagos State have approved for anyone to store hazardous material in an environment that is not conducive, talk less of under the bridge. Please, general public, note that we will start monitoring around for storage of chemicals and hazardous materials. And if you are not accredited, visit the Ministry of Environment or Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you.
Right now, the fire is being contained in a particular place. But I want to ensure the public that we will ensure that the fire is out before leaving this place. We are going to call more hands to ensure that it's been done. But my message to the public is that we need to take fire safety serious. We need to be conscious of fire. The best fire fought is the one prevented. As a result, let us prevent fire in our own way. Listen to the rules and regulations to fire safety. It is very important. Thank you.
When the incident occurred, we moved in with all the first responders. With the combined efforts of all the first responders, I can assure you there was no casualties, there was no mortalities. We have some challenges because of where the source of the fire was, the container. And within 30 minutes, we were able to be on top of the challenges. I will appeal to the good people of Lagos State to abide with the rules and regulations concerning safety. And we will be working with all other stakeholders to carry out holistic investigations and evacuations of all the containers in here. Thank you very much.
I wanted to seize this opportunity to appeal to people dredging very close to the footing of our bridges. This is another a great nuisance that is giving us a lot of problem. Report has reached us, and the fact that many people along the Third Mainland Bridge, many are doing the dredging. Whether they got the approval from NIWA or not is not our concern, but there is a minimum clearance they should be to their footing, the bridge footings. And it's not peculiar to Lagos alone, as I used to say. The Honorable Minister, I was in his entourage to Second Niger Bridge. We found them again there. In fact, I was to have meeting with NIWA executive in Abuja around 3 today. But due to this incident, I had to call it off. So I want to appeal to NIWA that they should desist from giving approval to people to go and dredge very close to our bridge footings without getting clearance from Federal Ministry of Works announcing. We are committing colossal amount of money on these bridges to maintain them. So anybody who is involved in such nefarious activities should desist from now. We have apprehended some, and we continue to do so. Thank you very much.
I think it would be unfair to say that LASMA did not focus on traffic management. We have 1 or 2 errand officers, and you will have read in the paper that we fired about 2 officers recently, and then a VIO officer has been apprehended. But the majority of LASMA do their jobs. You go to the junctions, you see that they are coordinated. They have one of the most dynamic general manager who understands the job, and I think that effective communication is coming from them. As we speak, they're down, making sure that vehicles don't come up here, and they're also at the other end ensuring that all those who are on the bridge get off the bridge, and they're doing that with their general manager. So there is coordination between the various officers. Now, the second question you asked, security. We also work with task force and the police. So we work collaboratively with the task force, so you know the anti-one-way task force. the police people, etc. So there is usually a security meeting that holds every month, and everybody sits down, we strategize, and then we go out and then implement. So that's going on. So there's no problem with that anyway.
Well, what we have seen, we noticed there is a fire outbreak under the bridge of Apongbon here. And then we've been trying as much as possible with other team, emergency team, to make sure they quench the fire. And then as we speak now, the fire has been subdued, because in the morning it was so much heavy, very heavy, that it's creating fear in the minds of the community people around here.
So, your office is in charge of business district.
Yes, yes, yes.
I wonder if your office has been, in a way, synthesizing business people, not particularly to have their businesses under this.
Okay. Part of the mandate of Central Business District is to ensure that all likable stakeholders within the Central Business District are periodically informed about every event of the government, every policy of the government, every program of the government, and even to emphasize on the safety policies and regulations that can, because we know that this environment is prone to fire. On a frequent basis, we experience fire. If you can recall, not quite a year ago, we have a fire incident at this particular corridor, this particular place, that about 5 or 6 containers were destroyed at that point in time. So we are very familiar, we are very conversant with that, and that's why on a quarterly basis, we have a special stakeholders meeting, and on a monthly basis, during environmental time, you will have seen the megaphone in the hands of my people. They go around to emphasize all this. And if you are very close to this environment, you will see remove stickers where we feel that the safety of the people have been threatened, or what they have placed in that particular place is a threat to human life. And that's exactly what we do. And that's the mandate that we have to regulate the business environment under which we control.
Now, you said you have been around and you have also worked with other agencies to bring abate this fire. Well, you said it's completely rescued.
It's rescued, but we are still keeping watch on it. And the reasons why we are still keeping watch on it is that we noticed there are some other containers under that bridge. After the fire has been quenched, there are some smoke that is coming out of it. And part of the reason why we are intensifying the likely adjunct shanties where containers lies, for them to remove all their goods, so that we can have a total sweep, total clear, so that peradventure, if there is an extension of fire, it won't catch up with all those places. And that's the reason why we have been doing what we are doing.
So,
Well, I'm not in a position to tell you what exactly has happened. It's not within my own purview. We have those who are saddled with that responsibility, that has the technical know-how. Lasema is there, the Director of Fire Services is there. So they are the people that will be able to tell us what exactly has gone wrong. But what I know is that this has been put under control.
So what kind of businesses takes place under this bridge?
Well, there are multi-faceted business that go around this place. And I don't think that it's, you have provision shops, you have all sorts of businesses are around there.
Okay, so on the final note, what advice do you want to give to particularly the occupants of under this bridge?
What they are standing out to do is to look for their daily living, and it's not equally safe for their own head for them to be doing business under on safe environment as we speak now. it's good for them to, there are a lot of markets that have been put in place by the local government, by the, that they can peer. If this has happened within the market space, they won't have gotten to this kind of humongous discussions. Because you can imagine what will cost government to put this bridge back to use. And at what is time lost in the event of putting this bridge back to use, and the suffering of the public in terms of vehicular movement, in terms of every other business movement within this corridor. So it's going to be a total suffering for everybody. Well, what is preventable? Why can't we adjust ourselves to it? What is the mentality of our people when you give an advice, when there is an intervention from government? They never believe it. They never believe in your thoughts, they never believe in your aim, they never believe in whatever programs and policy of the government. And that's why we always have these issues, and we carry out a fire brigade approach to solve the problem at all times.